So, the two faces of focus continue. Yes, two faces. Now, again, we talked about how there are two significant ways that you're getting ready to hit a golf shot. You're either getting ready to manipulate the club to meet the ball, or you're getting ready to use the weight of your arm tool unit, arm club unit, to deliver an action to target and predicting what's going to be in the way of that action. And your mental attitude or your mental focus at address makes all the difference in the world. And one of the things that I want to talk about as far as the takeaway is concerned, because there's a lot of contradicting information out in the market, as if you didn't notice already. So a lot of golf institutions talk about hinging early in the backswing. One of the reasons why they talk about hinging early in the backswing, especially for chipping and pitching and stuff like that, is because they're not allowing you to turn. Now, because the lower body stays quiet, arms are immediately going to crash into your body, and your arms are automatically going to start wrapping themselves around your body. Now, when it comes time for turning, you're stuck back here. So Band-Aid number one, hinge early. So if you hinge early, now we can get the arms up here while we're resisting with the lower body, trying to, do this funny business of X factor coiling against the lower body, which obviously doesn't work for guys like me. And we've noticed that, in our youth series that we're going to have with Matt, doesn't work with the youth guys either. Matt is one of the guys in that youth movement. He hits the ball longer than I do, right? So he's really impressive to watch, and you'll wait till you see. It's just like that young Jack Nicklaus video that you saw. You'll see a young left-handed Matt Bloy with that particular swing. So we allow everything to turn right out of the gate. So if we look at that kettlebell or battering ram, if I'm using a battering ram to bust through a door here, I would not go back this way. I'd just be glancing across the door. I am moving away from the door to move into the door. If I want the momentum to go this way, I want the backswing to move in a direction that's going to allow me to move the momentum that way. So, if you want momentum to go towards the target, well, don't you be picking the club up early here. This gives you momentum toward the ground. If you want momentum to go that way, you want width in the backswing to give you that access to momentum toward the target. So if we look at a 3-iron, this is why many of you are having trouble with the long irons, or the hybrids, or the fairway woods, or the driver. If you want momentum to go that way, and you pick the club up, well, where does that look like the momentum's going? Looks like it's going straight down toward the ball. That is because at address, you're automatically getting ready to hit that ball. So if you're getting ready to hit the ball, well, this is a motion for you to perform in order to get to the golf ball. Versus, I want momentum going that way. Well, yeah, that feels a lot more like momentum's going to move in this direction right here. Which brings me to the sequence of the two pendulums. We talked about two pendulums in Chris Riddick's book that I'm helping to make people aware of on my website. So we have pendulum number one, which is the sternal notch, which is the pendulum you would use for a battering ram, or when we're using that kettlebell or a medicine ball. But then when we put a club in our hands, pendulum number one takes everything away, and then right arm folds and activates pendulum number two. So there's a sequence of the pendulum. If I go pendulum number two first, well then how do I, now the pendulum number one gets a little bit floaty or a little lost. So the sequence of events is always 1, 2, 1, 2. So the club head now releases around pendulum number 2 and reloads over here. So if we go into perpetual motion, you'll see it in slow motion. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now have a look at the wedge. So you'll notice with the shorter irons when I'm doing a pitch shot, it's not because the club is shorter and it's got a lot more loft that I should pick the club up and try to pinch the ball into the ground. Though the length of the club will affect the width of my swing naturally. So notice the width of my arc is significantly reduced compared to that 3-iron. So if I pick it up, well, now my momentum's going this way. I just cut away at this big portion of my arc. So again, pendulum number 1 to 2, 1, 2. And I've got this gorgeous angle of attack heading into the ball. See that? Now the club releases around pendulum number 2. There's impact. There's the divot. There's the release. 1, 2. 1, 2. That's where you're going to get spin with the ball, because at this angle of attack, when the club is coming down, it's meeting the ball and compressing it against the face. That's where you're going to get that spin. Now, if you pick the club up and try to hit down, well, guess what? You're actually glancing across the ball downwards. So whether you're glancing this way, or glancing across, or glancing up, you're not going to get any spin. The only way to get spin is to get proper compression on the golf ball. To get proper compression on the ball, you need proper sequencing. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you hear that nice contact with the ball, always crisp, and you can actually hear the ball getting compressed. So if I go to my 3-iron now, and just with a pitch swing, 1, 2, 1, 2. See how I don't have to swing very hard? And that gravity releases the club beautifully through the ball. That was so flush. That contact was so perfect. And I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was listen to how gravity is deploying my club. Okay? So, I let it release. I hit that fin. Does it feel like the ground in front of the ball's in the way? Yes. 1, 2. 1, 2. Absolutely perfect contact again. So enjoy that. We'll see you in the next show.